It was nearly midnight when Ethan pulled off. Interstate 40, somewhere between Oklahoma and Texas. He had been driving for almost 12 hours. Rain slammed against the windshield so hard he could barely see the road ahead. The GPS suddenly lost signal. His phone displayed one message: no service. He sighed. The fuel gauge was nearly empty. Then, through the curtain of rain, a faded neon sign appeared. Welcome to Cedar Hill Motel. Half the letters no longer worked. The building looked forgotten. Dark windows, cracked walls, a parking lot filled with puddles that reflected the flickering red sign. It looked abandoned, yet one light glowed inside the office. Ethan grabbed his backpack and ran through the rain. The office door creaked open. The room smelled of old paper, damp wood, and stale coffee. Behind the counter sat an elderly woman wearing a gray cardigan. She looked as though she had been sitting there for years. She never smiled. Without asking for identification, she quietly said, "One night?" "Yeah." She reached beneath the counter and placed an old brass key on the desk. Attached to it was a faded tag. "Room 13? Ethan laughed. "Seriously?" "Room 13. She didn't react. "It's the only room available." He noticed something strange. There was no computer, no credit card machine, only an enormous leather guest book. She slowly opened it. Every page was handwritten. Names, dates, room numbers. She pushed it toward Ethan. "Sign here." He picked up the fountain pen. The page already contained 12 names. Every signature looked rushed. Some names had dark stains across them, almost like water damage. Or something else. He signed anyway. As he picked up the key, the woman finally looked directly into his eyes. Her voice barely rose above a whisper. "No matter what you hear tonight." She paused. "Don't open the door after midnight." Ethan smiled politely. "I'll keep that in mind." She never smiled back. Rain continued pounding the roof as Ethan walked toward room 13. The hallway lights buzzed overhead. Some flickered. Others stayed completely dark. For a brief moment, he thought he saw someone standing at the far end of the hallway. Tall, perfectly still. When lightning flashed through the window, the figure was gone. His room was colder than outside. The wallpaper peeled from every wall. The furniture looked untouched since the 1980s. The television sat inside an old wooden cabinet. A rotary phone rested beside the bed. There was no Wi-Fi password, no information booklet, no emergency exit map. Nothing. Only silence. He tossed his bag onto the bed. The mattress released a cloud of dust. Inside the bathroom mirror, someone had scratched a sentence into the corner. "Don't let them hear you." Ethan frowned. Probably some old prank. He wiped the mirror. The words disappeared beneath the steam from hot water. After changing clothes, he searched for food. Only one vending machine stood near the ice machine. It contained expired snacks. The expiration dates were over 10 years old. Even stranger, every room he passed appeared occupied. Light glowed beneath the doors. Televisions played softly. People whispered inside. Yet he had never seen another car outside. Not one. As he reached the vending machine, a little girl's laughter echoed from somewhere down the hallway. He turned. No one. The hallway was empty again. The laughter stopped instantly. He hurried back to his room. By 11:45 p.m., the storm had grown worse. Wind rattled the windows. Branches scraped across the walls. Ethan tried sleeping. He couldn't. Something felt wrong. The motel was too quiet. Then, the rotary phone rang. The sound nearly made him jump. He picked it up. Static. Nothing else. Then, a slow breath. Very close, as if someone was holding the receiver against their lips. Ethan, the whisper was barely audible. He immediately hung up. A second later, the phone rang again. This time, he ignored it. It continued ringing. Once, twice, 5 times. Then, silence. At exactly Sauer Shui Den Wushabafen, 3 slow knocks echoed through the room. Knock, knock, knock. Ethan walked to the door. He checked the peephole. Nobody. Only the dim hallway lights. He unlocked the door anyway. The hallway stood empty. Rain echoed outside. Nothing moved. He shrugged, locked the door, then noticed something odd. The hallway carpet had changed. Moments earlier, it had been faded green. Now, it was dark red. He blinked, looked again. Green. He laughed nervously. "You're just tired." Midnight arrived. The bedside lamp flickered. The air inside the room suddenly became freezing cold. Every light blinked once, twice. Then, the television switched on by itself. Static filled the screen. A loud hiss echoed through the room. Without touching the remote, the picture slowly became clear. It wasn't a movie. It wasn't a news channel. It showed the motel hallway. Live. Outside room Shusen, his own door. Ethan stood frozen. There were no security cameras outside. He was certain of it. Then, someone appeared on the television. A tall man wearing a soaked black coat. His face hidden beneath an old cowboy hat. Water dripped onto the carpet as he walked. Slowly, one step at a time. "Torun, Shursen." Ethan immediately looked through the peephole. The hallway outside was completely empty. He looked back at the television. The man was still there, now standing directly in front of the camera. Motionless, head lowered. The room suddenly felt impassable to breathe in. Very slowly, the man lifted his face. There were no eyes, only 2 dark, empty sockets. Then, every light inside the room went out. The television turned black, and somewhere beyond the door, 3 slow knocks echoed once again. Knock.